Server. Here we go. And we are live on the very first Make Every Day Count vlog. And we have got the absolutely awesome Adam Holt. Now, I just want to give a bit of say hello to Adam. Now, Adam, for those that don't know, well, he'll tell a little bit himself, but Adam responded to one of my spammy LinkedIn messages in 2020, I think it was. And we had an amazing conversation. It's Adam's fault that I spend hours of my day wasted on TikTok today, and Adam will talk a little bit about that. I think I called you the next David Attenborough of bugs or something like that we were talking about. But Adam,
Yep.
I didn't think that the first person I would have on Make Every Day Count vlog would be from Hawaii to start with, or be talking about bugs and all things bugs. So introduce yourself to the world. Tell them a little bit about yourself. Do promote your TikTok because I think it's an amazing TikTok channel. Just give the world a little bit of insight into who Adam is.
All right. Hi, everybody. Thanks so much again, Gordon, for having me. It's been a pleasure, and I can't believe it's been literally 5 years since we first, came together. It's insane. But again, everybody, my name's Adam Holt. I am from Florida originally, and I've lived across the entire country. Now I live in Hawaii, and so I've been in the pest control industry around 25 years. Crazy, crazy, crazy. I'm a board certified entomologist holding my undergraduate and graduate degree in entomology from the University of Florida. It's stamped right here. And so, as far as the TikTok thing goes, that's just been a journey as well. And I think I can't remember where I was whenever, Gordon, whenever you and I first, connected, but I definitely know I wasn't where I am now. And so now I'm about 540,000 followers, which is just insane. And it's been such a journey. And so, I think when I try to, and I can get back to introducing myself, but honestly, anybody can go look at my LinkedIn. And so I just want people to know, for anybody who's watching, that I have a passion for pest control. I have a passion for helping others. And so I just started my own consulting business called Name.Bug Consulting. It actually matches my hashtag for all of my social media and all of my accounts. And so
You do
for
listen to
anybody,
some things I say to you.
yeah, you got to keep it the same, right? It's symmetrical. So it's the branding aspect, right? We got to keep the branding aspect the
Yeah.
same. And so for anybody who wants to reach out to me around that, I mean, I've done everything in pest control that you can imagine, from marketing to P&L reviews, creating learning management softwares and implementing them for companies, the marketing aspect, the licensing aspect, the software aspect. I worked on the software side as well. And so I just love giving back to others. So for anybody who wants to, reach out, feel free. As far as going back to the TikTok thing, which is really
Hold on, I'm
exciting.
going to stop. I'm going to stop you there. Let's go
Okay.
back. So my network is accountants, financial planners, architects, business owners. I don't think I've got anyone in my network that is a bug pest control expert in the world. So
Okay.
just dumb it down for people like me. Really, really simple. Exactly what a pest control expert does. Why would someone engage a pest control? Why would someone engage someone like you? And what type of
I
industries engage people like you?
I don't know. I mean, I think people would engage somebody like me because, it's, even though my specialty is pest control, it doesn't mean I can't help out in other facets, right? I mean, you can apply the same things we've learned across the board. I mean, especially for anybody you're working with. I mean, there could be a company that has a current pest control contract, and they need somebody like me to come in and review that pest control contract for them and make sure that their pest control provider is taking care of them and giving them what they're paying for. That's a very simple, first step kind of thing, right? I mean, I'm sure you have a maybe an office or a storefront where you
Yeah.
might have pest control, and you might want some help with making sure you're getting what you pay for. Because I'll tell you right now, your average person doesn't inquire when the pest control guy comes in to spray, right? They're just like, "Oh, cool, you're here. Cool, you sprayed. Cool, thanks." And to give you an example of why I say that, I currently live here in Hawaii. When I first got here, the pest control people came. The guy walked in my house with a B&G to spray, and I was like, "Hey, what's in your B&G?" He looked at me like, "Why am I asking?" But his answer was Termidor, and I was like, "You can turn around and walk out the door, because that's a violation label. You're not allowed to spray that inside my house per the label." And he was looking at me like, "How do you know all this?" And I'm like, "Because you came to the wrong house to spray, buddy."
So, what is the most so pest control to us in Australia is things like termites, ants, cockroaches, that type of stuff. What's the weirdest pest control you've done? You do?
Weird
The
as
weird.
what?
What's the strangest type of pest control you do? So,
Strangest. I mean, I would say the strangest thing I've come across for pest control has been body lice.
okay, go on, explain a little bit. I did. 8 minutes into the podcast, 8 minutes into the vlog, and now we're talking about body lice. I've got no idea what body lice is. And
Body
we're
lice,
gonna we're gonna
like you get head lice, but instead they're body lice. They're on your body.
okay. So you come in and spray the rooms. You don't come in and spray the humans.
Oh, yeah. I mean, you're not going to spray the human. I mean, at that point, you have to come in and basically, spray all the, not spray. I don't like, we try to stay away from the word spray, right? Because spray gets people get a little weirded out by that. But we're going to treat the area. I mean, I've got to empower the person and give them knowledge to understand they need to wash everything on high heat and dry everything on high heat. And then we're going to treat the areas around their bed and anywhere where they're going to reside with maybe a green chemical, right? Like on their, anywhere where they're sleeping, their bed, their couch, any of that kind of stuff.
Like so, and I kind of think this links into the TikTok because one of the things that fascinates me about the TikTok is just the detail of some of the videos of the creatures. Is that what we call them? The pests, the creatures, just amazing. So, tell everyone a little bit about this TikTok. I had it written down that you had 50,000, just under 50,000 followers when we started talking.
Oh wow! Okay, so that's been what a journey.
And I remember your face when I turned around to you and said, you could be the David Attenborough of pest control. And you went, yeah, I don't believe it. And, you're a little bit, you're very modest because I think some of your views have had over 1 million views and stuff like that. So your views are through the roof.
My total views, I think, across my entire account is close to like 600 or 700 million for all my videos. And so I've had I had two videos last year that hit 50 million views each.
So
yeah. I mean, it's. Go ahead. Sorry.
So just tell us about that journey, and it's TikTok for me is a pain. It's a love-hate relation. I love it because I can waste 3 hours and the brain goes dead, and I can just get lost in the world of TikTok. Right, I've got no idea what I'm watching. And people do use it for business, and use it, I am going to start to use it more to represent who I am, and it's another branding exercise. So. Tell me your love affair with TikTok and what it means to you and why you use it.
From a consumer standpoint, Gordon, I think if you're going to use it to enjoy it, I think that's great. From a business standpoint, it actually takes effort. It's not something that just like, oh, I'm going to post a video and it's going to go viral. I mean, these are the things that can also help out with. I mean, there's hashtags you need to use. There's, viral music you need to use in the background. There's things that you need to use. There's certain like stats that are going to help you catch the algorithm and grow your business. But I'm like, for anybody who's trying to use TikTok or any social media from a business standpoint, if you want to do it and you want to spend the least amount of money, your goal is to make sure you're following, X number of rules. You want to post so many times a day. You want to, like I said, use all those certain things. And so I know for me personally, what TikTok has done for me has just been insane. I've met people across the entire world. I mean, literally, I don't know if you've heard of Dale. He's out of Australia, and he was viral on the news because he found the largest wasp nest ever recorded.
And that's where he goes.
I'm sorry?
And that's what happens. I mean, so the viral side of it is the same. It's the same on LinkedIn. It's the same on anything. It's the same. When we talk about the network and connecting with people, the networking, it's not just being visible, but it's being memorable and it's being intriguing. And I'm a bit of a wimp, right? I'm a bit of a wuss. I don't like spiders or anything like that. I don't like creepy crawlers. But I would not usually look at your type of TikTok site but I'm just absolutely fascinated by, I think the animation, the photography, the videos of just that. What some of those creatures do and where they go, and it creeps me out a little bit. But let's go. So, talk to me a little bit about your journey, because I can't remember whereabouts you were in the States when we first connected 2025, but I think you've moved around America like I've moved around the world. And we're not going to get political. We're not going to talk about politics in the US or anything like that. But you've moved around a little bit, and that obviously has an impact on your life and being happy and making sure that happy isn't just about being at work, but happy is about being happy at home as well. And when we talk about make every day count isn't just about being a high performer at work. It's about making sure that your life at home is is happy as well. So talk to me about how that's impacted your life, moving around and finding where you seem to be in a very, very happy spot right now in Hawaii.
Yeah, so I think the last time you and I talked, I was in Sacramento,
Yeah.
California, and I was working a very high level job as a technical director for a PCT top 100 company in the States. And just for anybody who's in Australia, any PCT top 100 pest control company in the States is at least, I think, $10 million or higher. So they're a relatively large company, and the company I was with was like a $35 million company. So I was managing 175 plus technicians, just doing so much and wearing so many hats. And for me, that became very stressful and it became very overwhelming. And I didn't feel like I was getting, I hate to say this, but at that point, I didn't feel like I was being compensated for what I was bringing to the table. And so I had another opportunity with Douglas where I took that job and moved over to Philadelphia. So I went all the way from one side of the country back to the other side of the country again. Lived in Philadelphia for a year doing fumigation on the manufacturing side, which was cool experience. I mean, Center City, if you've never been to Philly, living in Center City, Philly was a really cool experience. Being like 3 blocks from Reading's Terminal Market and 8 blocks from the Liberty Bell, really cool experience. Fast forward, I ended up getting a job offer with AmGuard Environmental Technologies to work on their side from the product side, and so that took me from Philadelphia to San Diego, California. So now I'm going back across the country again. San Diego is incredible. Love San Diego, but AmGuard didn't work out for A, B, and C. So I ended up taking a job as a director of operation with Innovative Pest Solution. Really cool experience, something I'd never done. So I loved it. And then that just kind of needed to transition from that one. And honestly, that was a weird point in my life where my wife is she's a kind of a spiritualist slash, tarot card reader, does some of that stuff. And so she did a vision board, and the vision board had Hawaii on it, and it had all this stuff on it. And this is the craziest thing. 2 weeks later, I get a phone call for an interview for a job I've never applied for. And so it was one of those things where I felt like this is just, I felt like I had to take advantage of, doing this interview and this opportunity. And so, but, that got us here to Hawaii. And now I can ride my bike to the beach, and, I've got my windows open, which you can't do in most places. And I've got a bunch of plants, and I love doing all this stuff. And so here we are. I'm actually teaching 8th grade science right now, which I will say is not what it used to be. So,
I just want to touch on that point about, your wife putting it on the vision board. And, when we met, I think we both agree I was a slightly different human being when we met in 2020. And, I had a bit of a spiritual journey, probably 2-3 years ago. And this thing about vision boards, and whilst I don't do vision boards, I do kind of manifest things, right? Mm-hmm. This is where I want to be. And I always talked about, in business, about the 7-year plan. You've got to start living who you want to be today, because that changes the mindset of how you actually wake up every day and how you act every single day. And if you don't put it out there, you put it out there to the spirits, to the gods, to whatever you believe in, to the bugs, the cats, the dogs, I don't care. But unless you put it out there, right, the world's not going to know. And when you hold it in. So, yes, whether it's the vision board, whether it's manifesting, whether it's winning the lottery, whatever it is, that you've got to share what you want to do. You're going to have to share what you want to do, because you never know what's going to happen. So, so is this your happy place? Is Hawaii the happy place? Is Hawaii forever, or is Hawaii for now?
I don't know. I mean, right now I would say it's for now. It's still new. I mean, we've only been here since July of last year, and so it's still new to me. And so I love it. It's awesome. Everybody's like, "Oh my God, Hawaii's so expensive." I'm like, it's actually cheaper than it was to live in San Diego. Just for everybody's reference point. Yeah.
Oh wow.
But to let you know, I'm like, Hawaii is an amazing place. I don't get island fever. Some people are like, "Oh my God, you're going to move to Hawaii and get island fever." That's not been a problem for me. I will say that my teaching journey is probably not going to last much longer, because it's way more challenging than I expected. So I just started my consulting business literally in December, and that's going well. And so I'm hoping to just get that fast tracked here and, be able to stop the teaching thing, just because, again, I'm like, it's kind of like you said. I mean, part of, I think, making every day count is also, like you said, manifesting it, putting it out there, but you also have to work towards the manifestation. It doesn't just happen. People think that if I manifest it, it's just going to happen, or if I want it to happen, it's just you still have to work towards that goal.
Yes, and I think that's right. There's, there's loads of these quotes about that life is not easy. If it's easy, everyone was doing it, or success isn't easy. If success was easy, everyone was doing it. You have to do it. You have to work at it, but it's the enjoy. But I often find when you're got that dream that you want to become reality, the journey is almost, if not more fun and exciting than it is actually the end result. And this is what I'm very focused on. People often say, when I get to where I want to be, I'll then buy myself a car. And I go, yeah, but what about the little success stories along the way? Why aren't you rewarding yourself along the way? Because it doesn't have to be a new car. It can be a handbag. It can be a dinner for two. It can be a short break holiday. But those are the rewards for the effort you put it in that's getting you to from A to B to the successes. So I think to me, that's what makes every day count. Is about celebrating every single day your success. As long as you go to bed a better human than when you woke up, then today's a success.
Yeah. I mean, my question back to you is, what is especially since this is the first one, what is your goal and what is your goal of your message to everybody for making every day count?
So for me, it stems from I've spent numerous years and countless times standing in or sitting in the audience watching an Olympic champion, a sports star, celebrity stand up and go, I got up at 5 o'clock in the morning. I trained for 20 hours and, didn't have a life for 10 years, but look at me, I'm a world's number one. And I'm the guy there eating burger and chips. And I'm going, there's no relatability between that person on stage talking about working 20 hours and me. And what inspires me is just, I used to call it ordinary people, but I've changed it to everyday people because I don't like the word ordinary. And it's ordinary people like you, like me, the person on the street, who have got their own individual challenges, and your challenges are no different to my challenges, are not better and not worse than my challenge, but are making a life for themselves in their way. And what they define as success for themselves is completely different.
Sorry, I'm getting goosebumps listening to you. Sorry.
It's completely different to what success is for me. I mean, my struggles with Wendy and her health. Success for her is like she's alive this year, right? That money can't buy that. And having worked in investment banking and seen money flow left, right, and center, money is not the only. Money does not create success. It doesn't even create wealth. So to me, make every day count is about literally going to bed a better human than when I woke up. And there's days when, just putting 2 feet out of bed was a success for me. So
100%.
And I get inspired by listening to you, right? Because I know I'm going to go to the coffee shop today. People say, what have you done this weekend? I said, well, you never guess what I did today. And they said, what? I said, well, I had a chat with the world's leading bug expert from Hawaii in my vlog. And they went, and I know that's not what they're thinking.
Right.
So I get inspired by you. You put a smile on my face. And, one of the questions I often ask in networking is, who made you smile today? Well, I know I'm going to be talking about you I talk about you a lot, but I'm going to be talking about you even more. So to me, that's what Make Every Day Counts about. Just every day.
I love it. I love it. I mean, I don't know. I'm reflecting on since we met and COVID and just in general, just, life moving forward, and life is short. And I'm like, I've lost, I can't tell you, half a dozen friends just from random things, And so it's just, I agree with you. Life is short and you have to make every day count, because if you're not, what else are you doing? I feel like if I'm not learning, then I'm not living.
Yeah, and I don't know if you saw I think you did see the post I put it on Instagram the other day that said, you're going to be dead. Make every day count, because you're going to be dead for a long time.
Fair enough.
Right. And it's the same thing when people say to me, if this was your last day on earth, what would you do? And I go, well, it's too late. Right. Make this the first day of the rest of your life on earth. And now what you're going to do.
I love it. So on a weird side note, my mind's going to, have you ever seen that show Upload on Prime?
No, but I will do. I will do today. No.
So it's a long story short, it's in the future. And essentially if you're at the point of where you're going to pass, they can basically cut your head off and they can upload you to another virtual reality.
Well, that's a bit too spooky for me, that.
It's a little interesting, but with that being said, there's actually reality that supposedly there's real stuff talking about that being a potential in the future, maybe even in our lifetime.
Wow. Well, maybe your lifetime, not my lifetime. So,
Gordon, we're close in age. What are you talking about?
We are actually, aren't we? We're only 21.
I think we are.
We are. Okay. So, how I asked you the question when you logged on and put the meeting that how do you make every day count? And you said by helping others solve problems and helping others understand the quote control the controllable. So
Mhm.
talk to me about that quote, control the controllable.
I had a good friend back in Sacramento when I worked for Advanced, and she brought that quote into my life. Her name's Adrian, and when she told me that one day, I was like, kind of had to reflect on it. But I'm like, the more I thought about it, control the controllable. It's like there's so much that's out of our control. I mean, the people that are driving in front of you that are idiots, and not doing things right, or the people in the store in front of you that are yelling at somebody. It's like I'm sitting here in my mind, and I'm like, I have to take a deep breath. And if I control the controllable, then I feel like, my life's going to be a lot easier. It's going to be a lot less stressful. So for me, that's really what control the controllable means, because you can let all of these, external factors control you, or you can just control the controllable and try to, every time something tries to set you back, just take a second, reflect on that, and take a deep breath and just realize that life is short. So if you let somebody else control you, then they've won, right?
Yeah. So
That's at
I
least
was
for
going to
me.
say to that because we have this thing as a human beings about the fear of missing out or the fear about whatever and trying to control everything around you. And we always try to second guess. We're not worried about going to A to B. We're already worried about what's happening on D, E, F, and G. And I said, just let's get to A to B. Yeah, focus on it. So how do you keep that mindset going where the world around you just keeps on doing what the world around you because it's out of your control and you can keep focused on being Adam and looking after your wife and doing that type of stuff. So how what are the things that you put into daily life that makes that possible?
I think it's just a lot of, for me, number one, it's a lot of reflection. It's definitely, I mean, even right now, I was sitting here this morning after eating breakfast, and my mind, I'm thinking, and you kind of go into a daze sometimes when you think, and your eyes just kind of sit there, and I'm reflecting on, okay, what can I do next? But then I'm also like, today's Sunday. Can I just stop working for a day and just enjoy myself? Because the second is gone, I can never get it back.
Yes.
Right. And so I want people to realize that you need to take time for yourself, and you need to take time to reflect. Nothing's going anywhere, and you're not in any hurry. And I have that's one of my biggest challenges. My wife will tell you, like, when I'm driving somewhere and I'm always in a hurry, and I'm like, one of the reasons I came to Hawaii was to try to slow down and just go with the flow a little more. And so for me to go from one step to the next, I'm always planning ahead of time for everything, but I'm also trying to plan ahead for, or at least do the one step at a time, like you said. I mean, like I said, even today when I was reflecting on my business, I was like, what can I do today for my business? Obviously, I can plan for stuff for the future, but what can I do today? And then the thing I decided on for today was I can do nothing and just sit back and relax.
And that is making every day count because doing nothing and making yourself relax is getting your body, is giving your body a rest. So when you do go and do something, it's at a higher performance level because you've taken the day to rest. So one thing we'll talk about beyond this video call is the fact of running your own business. And you no longer work 9 till 5 and you don't work Monday to Friday. So I actually spend a lot of time on Sunday working, basically because my wife stays in bed and it's easy for me. My brain works, and I've got a couple of new business ventures that are coming about that are not constrained to Australian time, that are global time. So it means that I don't have to work Monday to Friday. However, we have a store like Home Depot in Australia called Bunnings. It's a trade show. It's where you go and get all your homewares from. It's going to get your garden stuff. For some reason, I'm always going there on a Saturday, on a weekend. I always go with food shopping on a Saturday and Sunday. And it's the mindset saying, I don't have to go shopping when everyone else is going shopping because I'm
Yep.
not fixed at that. So this thing about I don't have to work Sundays, you actually don't have to work. You can work whatever days you do. And one of the things when I think I remember telling you that when I started my business, there's three things I said when I started my consultancy business. I won't work Fridays. So I don't allow anyone to book any day on Friday apart from unless I allow them. I'll take 18 weeks holiday a year. And I realized that I actually don't want 18 weeks holiday. I want the flexibility to have 18 weeks, but I don't want 18 weeks. And I'll only fly business class. Right. I've kept those three for 10 years. Right.
Nice.
And those are my non-negotiables for it. And everyone can laugh and joke about them all and everything else. but they're not working Fridays is an absolutely amazing thing. So it's not working Friday. It's not allowing people to book into my diary. If I have a meeting on Friday, it's because I've allowed it to happen, not because someone's invading. So I've kept my boundaries to it. So yeah, if you want to do work on Sunday, because that's when your brain is working on you and your business, because all the other time you're working on other people's businesses, that's actually okay. And if you're smiling and you're having fun and you're enjoying it, right?
Fair
Or you
enough.
could be you could be doing a TikTok video and getting another 50 million viewers or 500 million viewers.
Fair enough.
Okay.
Fair enough.
So I said, well, one of the things I want to do this vlog is I want to keep it down to half an hour. Let's see where we go to. But I actually pinched this line from something else, a podcast I was on, and I actually really loved it. And it's and the question was, if your life had a theme song, what would it be and why? Now, tell me why you picked this one. Tell everyone what it is.
I picked Stronger by, was it Stronger?
No, What Doesn't Kill You.
Yeah, so it's basically What Doesn't Kill You, which is Stronger by Kelly Clarkson. So if you haven't heard if you haven't heard the song, you've got to listen to it. But it's, she says, "What doesn't kill you makes you stronger." I can't sing it, but that's the whole "What doesn't kill you makes you stronger." And so I don't know. For me, I think it's just that's a really good, for me, a song to live by, a theme song to live by, because it's literally true. I mean, what doesn't kill you makes you stronger, and I'm like, that's part of, I think, what we face every day in our lives. I mean, the adversities we face, that thing like you faced with Wendy, that's an adversity, but it's something you were able to overcome. But if it didn't kill you, it made you stronger, right?
Absolutely. And it made me stronger in so
Mentally,
many ways.
Yeah.
That no education, no school, no certificate on the wall would ever have taught me. And in a way, I mean, it's funny you said, because Wendy and I were talking about this at the weekend. We're not glad we've gone through the journey, but we're not disappointed we've gone through the journey either. I mean, there's always, we're not glad because life expectancy is a lot lower and everything else, but who I was going to be, because I was a picket fence, two kids, a cat and a dog, corporate life, to what I am today, I'm so much happier today than I would have been. So I love that question. Now, we're going to wrap up in a couple of minutes. So what else you want to tell the world, Adam? It's your time just to tell the world what we haven't covered a little bit about, Adam. You might as well
I think I want to tell the world that one crazy thing is that if you are not big in networking, if you're not on LinkedIn, if you're not on things, you should be, because literally I wouldn't know you and you wouldn't know me if we weren't on LinkedIn and we didn't take those networking opportunities, right? And so it's such a powerful tool. You literally never know who you're going to meet. And I'm like, I've met somebody who's in Australia when I was in the United States. And I'm like, I've met people. I just did a podcast last week with somebody in the UK, 2 podcasts in the UK. I mean, it's just insane the opportunities you come across when you network. So if you're not on LinkedIn and if you're not networking, I highly encourage you to do that.
Thank you. And I said it in 2020 and I'll say it again in 2025. We will meet face to face one day. All right. We will meet. I'm not going to say where it's going to be, because who knows where we're going to be. But I suspect in the next couple of years we will be catching up face to face. Adam, I want to say a massive thank you to you. I want to say a massive thank you for keep on reaching out to me and asking how I am, and let's keep in touch. I thank you for being my first guest on Make Every Day Count vlog. I've enjoyed the story. Please, anyone that's listening to this, reach out to Adam. Reach out to Adam about his journey, about the business, about his business successes, about his TikTok. Just reach out to him, because he's just an absolutely awesome guy. And that's why he's on the vlog. So everyone, thank you very much, and thanks a lot. And let me know what you think of the video.